Yes, welcome back to the show. It's still the bumper breakfast. Of course, we had to put up a new look this morning. Kade, how are you doing today?
Doing great. It's often. Good
Oh,
morning to
trust
all of
me,
you.
this next conversation is going to definitely project you guys to the place where we want you to be this morning. We're talking about grooming your mind positively. Remember the last week, Monday, we began this conversation about family history and how it affects the psyche and the general outlook of other people's lives. Some people do say because their family members do not live long, they prepare their minds and prepare themselves for early death. Some people also do say that because their generation generally do have difficulty in coping with certain things, they just decide to prepare themselves for it. So, yes, we've been breaking away gradually from such psychological hold of family history. And this morning I have Wemimo Adebiyi, a cognitive behavioral counselor, joining us on the show. Wemimo, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
Glad to be
morning,
here
Wemima.
live on the phone.
And apparently Kayode is saying that he would have loved to see your face. I mean, it's sort
Of
of
course.
like,
No worries, sir.
It's always good to have you on the show, Wemima.
It's good to hear you again this morning.
Good
right.
morning.
So, Wemimo, let's have it. Let's begin the conversation from here. What are we breaking up from today? You said grooming your mind positively.
Yes, yeah. And you remember that the last time we talked about this, we said a lot of times we talk about inheritance from the material perspective.
Yes.
However, as you are inheriting material stuff, you're also inheriting some mindsets, some mentality, some beliefs. And you also inherit some outcomes, based on the fact that you hailed from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we're able to see that it's actually not your fault because you didn't beg to be born into that family,
That's right.
but your outcome, the kind of life you want for yourself, the result you intend to achieve becomes your responsibility. So, when you have identified it, that it's like people from my either father's side, mother's side, or from the nuclear family I'm growing from, or maybe from the people they just threw me into, because we have a lot of people who grew up, from homes where, families that they are not related to, but they are still the family you hailed from. So the moment you realize you have become self-aware, okay, now a lot of people do not know that things are happening. That's why the self-awareness is not working for them. So the moment you realize you have become self-aware. So the first stage of grooming your mind is to become aware, self-aware. Evaluate yourself, your result, your outcome, which I think we have mentioned partially. So I say the next thing is, please, it is not your fault. Okay, you cannot own, a journey that you did not plan to be on. I'll explain what that means, because a lot of us, we were not planned to be born into polygamous homes. We were not planned to be born into a broken, relationships, or even
Exactly.
we have lots of people whose parents, their parents, they just cannot tell who their parents are. All right, so it's not your fault, because the moment you own it, in psychology, we believe the moment you say, I don't want to be like my mother, the reverse is the case. You may end up being like her.
Psychologically.
Yes, the one, sorry?
Go ahead,
Psychologically,
please.
right?
Psychologically.
Yes, because I got to know in one of our trainings that the human mind cannot understand the word don't. That's why when you give instructions to children and you say don't jump, the implication is jump.
Jump, exactly.
Okay. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so That's why you discover that you keep repeating the same instruction and the child keep flouting the rules. So
Because
what you
to
need
the
do-
child, are you saying that when you give such instructions, the child hears the opposite?
Yes, that's the way the mind works. So what you need to do is you instruct the mind. Okay? You say you will not jump. Okay? You may fall down. You instruct the mind on the consequences of that action if you do this. Yeah. Yeah. So what you need to do is you say, I will turn out better. I will not have child outside wedlock. I will not. So you are instructing your mind.
mind.
To
But the
fall in
moment you
line
say,
with the
I
desire.
I don't want to inherit my family outcome. You discover that whether you like it or not, your path just finds its way in that direction. So we say reinform your mind because it is not your fault. So you replace it with I will not. Okay, I will not become polygamist. I will not. Okay, I will not develop health issue. I will not. So the moment you are able to instruct the mind, then the possibility, how do I put it? The mind begins to see possibility, and then you have, you begin to tailor yourself around what do I do to prevent this. I hope you get it.
Yeah.
So, for me, as an individual, I have identified from my mother's side, there is this thing we call this high blood pressure at a particular age, which I have observed. Okay, so before I got to that age, I started thinking, what lifestyle change do I need to imbibe? What, healthy diet do I need to? Now, when we talk about lifestyle change, I had to look at association as well. Because it's not just about saying, I will not, and I remain in the association that fuels that ailment.
Okay. Okay.
It's part of grooming your mind. Because wherever your mind, whatever you instruct your mind to do, that's where the direction of your life will go to. All right. So the next thing I'll say is look beyond the family dysfunctionality. A lot of times we tend to focus on what, those negativities, they are there. There's no family that doesn't have it.
Of course.
Okay? There's no perfect home.
Of course.
Doesn't matter how beautifully they look, they may, be decorated. So what we say is know that, okay, each family has its own, but look beyond it.
Wemi, it's
Think
quite
there must have been
interesting
that
that it's quite interesting that we're having this conversation because
Yeah.
then, okay, Wemi,
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
right with you.
When you, there's every possibility you may likely become lame. All right? You will see people moving around you. You just cannot. Just believe. Some people say they are following me from home. That's how they followed my mother. That's how they followed my father. That's how they followed my brother. So definitely the followership continues with me. Okay?
when she said the followership. Do you know that somebody? I saw it. I saw a post on Instagram one day. This guy was I think it was in Germany or thereabouts. And he was saying, that's what we used to say when I was in the village in Nigeria. And I would say that all those uncles that are poor and look wretched, they are the witches in the family, and so don't go to their house, so don't have any relationship with them. He said, I see a lot of people that look like that to where I am, right? He said, and he's beginning to think that, so these witches used to follow people. And then he said, that is just in our psyche. He said, no wonder he's doing well and all that. And he's wondering, where did the witchcraft from?
Yes. I think I like the direction, you're driving us towards this morning, because I realize that a lot of people want to live their life basically by fighting their foundation, fighting their background, trying to be like, I don't want to end up like my father, instead of thinking in a positive direction that how do I build my life? How do I build my dream? How do I build my own vision? Not necessarily thinking
make sure I don't
to make
end
sure
up-
I don't end up being like my father or being like my mother.
Yeah.
You know, so I love
Yeah.
the direction you're driving us towards this morning. Please continue. This is deep.
All right, thank you very much. So we're saying that disconnect, look beyond the family dysfunctionalities because they are there. All right, it's obvious they are there. All right, so and then start looking at things from another direction. What is actually good in this family? Now, a lot of times, because of the outcomes, a lot of people are not looking at what's one thing that is good, okay, in that family. Everything cannot be down in your family at the same time. Okay, something, is good. It could be that as wretched, in quote, as some people might be, they still have that family connection.
Exactly.
Okay, it could be that somehow they still looked after one another, no matter how zero-minded and all of that. So look out for what is working, what is good, and laugh about it. Okay, just look for something, be humorous about the dysfunctionality, and then look out for something that works. Okay, then after you have, because we're talking about grooming your mind, you are trying to set a pace for yourself to accelerate and then to redefine your journey away from where you hailed
From.
Okay, now there is also the place of you talking.
I want to assume that the network is the
I mean,
problem
but
right
this
now.
is a very interesting
Conversation,
conversation this morning.
Yeah.
You know, Thomason, because I noticed a lot of, I met one or two, people that told me I don't want to end up
Yeah.
like my father.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
please
you
go
can
ahead.
go ahead.
We're with you.
Yeah. People don't know that you need information. You need information is power. A lot of
I really do hope that this disruption kind of stops completely. Sorry about that, Wemi.
We really need to get the details she's
Yeah.
sharing with us.
Okay, please go ahead.
get somebody, an older person, ask them questions. Okay, how did we get here? Okay, who did this start with? All right, how get information. It will give you, it will empower you to know how to channel your race, basically. Then if you need to disconnect physically, you might need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're talking about your mind. Your mind, okay, activates itself by what it sees, what it hears, what it, by what you see, and then what you hear. Those two windows connect to your mind. So a time will come when you might need to change environment.
Okay.
Disconnect. There are some people in your family who are used to talking negatives. Okay? They just will not see what is good. They report themselves, they gossip themselves, they throw stones at each other. Those things are not healthy for your mind if you want to break away from negative, mindsets. It will keep dragging you back. It will keep giving you a different picture. It will keep, because you will become webbed. You become tied down. So if you need to be physically away, please do. All
Very
right?
important.
Please do. Find a way, change your environment, change your association. I say to people, like what Yoruba say, that 20 children cannot
Play together for 20 years.
applies to the family. Yeah. The fact that we are siblings, the fact that you are my mother, my father, doesn't mean I must stay stuck with you for 20 years if my life is not making progress.
But then parents, some parents do not
Family
want their
connection
children.
that-
But then some parents do not want their children out of their immediate environment, and and these children are also tied down to say, who will take care of my mother? Who will take care of my father? How do you juxtapose this? How do you place it side by side and still are able to fulfill your path, your dreams, and still take care of your parents?
Exactly.
I mean, some people have genuine reasons for sticking close to their roots, to where they come from.
Yes.
They have genuine reasons, and
Reasons.
you really cannot tell them that they are wrong in their own thoughts. What do you think?
What do you think?
Auntie Wemi?
Yeah.
Yes, please. So what do you think?
Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay to know. I'm a Christian. I keep saying it. Like, there's time for everything. There's a time to bond and there's a time to break away. All right, for my good, basically. So if you evaluate yourself and you discover that much of what you receive from your family gives you negativity, I think it's okay if you choose to separate yourself for a while. Okay, so I say, then start giving yourself a different experience. Okay, start, educating your mind, expose yourself to the world. That's the beauty of the smartphone which we have. Okay, you could be in the United Kingdom on your phone. You could learn cultures from from other parts of the world via your phone. All right, become addicted to changing your norms by yourself. Read, study, change the way you think. Now, how do you change the way you think? You think this way before. If Wemimo passes and she looks at me this way, this is what it meant. Now, you want to change the narrative. If Wemimo passes, she doesn't greet me, I'll go to greet her.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So those are ways to change the narratives of your mindset. Okay, if somebody offers me, comes to hug me, some people believe the person wants to collect your glory, so they don't hug. Hey, now I'll hug because it's a form of physical touch. It's a form of affection. It makes me feel
So
good.
interesting.
It makes people connect to me. Do you get it? So be deliberate about changing the way you think. So navigate your thoughts. All right. And of course, I will not say you cannot forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, okay, for allowing those things because you didn't know the impact on you. Forgive your family. You didn't choose that family. You were born into it, okay? You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose your siblings. You just discovered that this happened to be my brother. This happened to be my sister. Okay, forgive
And
yourself.
it's beyond your reach.
You know.
Something you cannot control in
Yeah.
the first place.
Exactly, so that you could move forward.
And
when you move forward, please try as much as possible to communicate your new mindset.
Wemimo, I'd love you to share your view on this. You will agree with me that the reconfiguration of the mindset is one of the biggest and greatest tasks. We often find a lot of people who grew up with a particular mindset that they find it so difficult to change all through their lifetime because it's one of the greatest tasks, changing your mindset, rebranding your mindset. Now, looking at it in that perspective, how do you think people could make it more easier for themselves rebranding their minds?
Well, it's not, you see, rebranding your mind is a process because you didn't get into that particular mode overnight. Okay? You were born into it, you imbibed it, you thought this was the normal way of life.
Exactly.
Okay? So it became a path of you.
Okay.
Now, that was why I said you start with self-awareness. If you're not aware of your outcome in terms of your result, the way you think, I have heard somebody said to someone, your thought stinks. Okay. Now, if someone could say that the way you think is disgusting, then you should pay attention to it. Okay? It should give you an idea. Don't pick offense. It sounds offensive.
Of course.
But that's the only way that's the best way the person could describe
Exactly.
what is coming from you. Okay, so you go back, you reevaluate your mind, you evaluate your word. Now, people can't tell what your mind is without telling the way you communicate to them. So the communication of the flow of your communication, your words, your action, your outlook. If you are quarrelsome, you have, do you understand? If you're known, even when people meet you, there's an aura.
That is around you.
Likable.
Exactly.
They're
You're right.
naturally likable. Do you get it?
Yes.
There are some you've not dealt with them. They're very repulsive. Okay. Now, some people might say it's spiritual, but if you could begin with your mind, okay, you get to know that what I'm communicating is not favoring people, is not favoring me, because it's going to deter you from moving forward. That's what we're saying. See, negative mentalities, they hold you down. They place a limit on you. When you can't think beyond where you're coming from, you will not grow beyond where you're coming from. Basically. So we're saying self-awareness. Then you begin the journey. It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Indeed.
Don't be ashamed of your journey. All right. And the truth is, by the time you start growing, you are making effort. It will be known. It will be seen. Somebody somewhere will know that there's something different about you. Okay, that you are making effort. Because there's something about you I can't really explain. You will become a different person.
Altogether.
Okay? The way you approach your life, the way you coordinate your life, and something will send a message. Now, mind you, you may have it difficult at first, because nobody, when you're in the midst of mediocre, they don't want you to rise above them. They don't want you away from their circle.
Of course.
They are going to tag you. They are going to give you names. You may be cut off. You remember what happened to Prince Harry?
Yes.
He wanted something different. He was disconnected from the source of income. He was disconnected from something, but he just wanted a different me. So when you get to the point where you want a different result, be ready to be attacked. But you are going to be happy for yourself, because you want to deepen your root and become a better person for yourself.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Auntie Weme has been going